Okay guys, first I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to show you the equations to find them. So what we're talking about with a quadratic is it's something that looks like this. All right, and there's a couple different things that we're going to look for. We're going to look for the x-intercepts, which are right here and right here where it crosses the x line. We're going to look for the y-intercept, which is right here where it crosses the y line. We're gonna look for the vertex, which is right here. It's the very bottom of the U. And we're gonna look for the axis of symmetry, which cuts it right in half. And this is gonna be the axis of symmetry right here. So I'm gonna show you guys how to find each of these things. There are a couple of equations. For the axis of symmetry, it's x equals negative b over 2a. So that's how we find the axis of symmetry. Let me zoom out. There we go. Axis of symmetry is negative b over 2a. Vertex is negative b over 2a. So this is where the axis of symmetry comes from. They're the same. Comma, negative b squared over 4a plus c. That's the vertex. For the x-intercept, you plug in 0 for y. So x-intercept or septs. Oh, x-intercepts. Plug in 0 for y. For the y-intercepts, we plug in, or there should only be one. Plug in 0 for x. I'll show you guys a few examples of each of these, but this is what I really need to have you have written down when you get to class. So when we're talking about a, b, and c, a function or a quadratic is always in this form right here. And this is where a, b, and c come from. So if it tells me y equals 2x squared plus 8x plus 1, then b is going to be 8. So I'm going to go negative 8 over 2 times 2, which is negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2. So my axis of symmetry is x equals negative 2. That's also part of my vertex. So negative 2 is part of the vertex. Now I need to do negative b squared over 4 times a plus c. So that's going to be negative 64 over 8 plus 1. Negative 64 over 8 is negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. That's the other part. To find the x-intercepts, I put in 0 for y, so I'm going to make this a 0. So I'm going to put it on the other side. 2x squared plus 8x plus 1 equals 0. Then I have to go through the process of completing the square. So with completing the square, they're kind of tough, or you can factor them if it's factorable. Or the easiest thing is to use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 1, over 2 times a, which is 2. That gives me negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 8 over 4, which gives me negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 56 over 4. I don't know what the square root of 56 is. I would have to put that in the calculator. and I think it's gonna give me a decimal. So I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna do this, comma, 0, because y is 0 at the x-intercepts. And then for the y-intercept, it's actually 0, comma, c if it's in this form. So when it's in this form, I just do 0c. So 0, comma, c is 1, 1. And that's it.